Am I wrong here for snapping at my mom for telling people I'm gay? Especially since I'm not? You guys won't believe what happened to me yesterday. It started with such an innocent question about Greek gods and somehow ended with my mom outing me to all her friends. Except I'm not even gay. Let me set the scene for you. Picture this. I'm just chilling at home, doing what any normal 20-year-old guy does, when my 14-year-old sister asks me about Greek mythology. Little did I know this would spiral into the most awkward family situation ever. So there I was, having a perfectly normal day. My sister was reading this book. You know, one of those young adult novels where every male character apparently looks like they just stepped off Mount Olympus. She looks up at me with these innocent eyes and asks, "What does a Greek god look like?" Now, being the awesome big brother I am, I gave her the most straightforward answer. You know, muscular and handsome. Simple, right? Wrong. That's when I noticed my mom giving me this weird side eye, as if she had just cracked some secret code. "Nothing," she says, but we all know that mom's nothing always means something. Later that day, she hits me with the most unexpected question. "Do you like your best friend because he's tall and muscular?" Hold up. What? Turns out, my mom had been building this entire narrative in her head. According to her detective work, my best friend and I are secretly in love because, wait for it, we checks notes, hang out together, and are comfortable around each other. After the initial exchange about Greek gods, my mom started acting very suspicious. She would give me these knowing looks whenever my best friend and I were together, as if she had cracked some secret code. One day, as we were all sitting around the dinner table, my mom suddenly turned to me and asked, "Do you like your best friend because he's tall and muscular?" I was completely caught off guard. Where was this bizarre question coming from? Apparently, my mom had been closely observing my interactions with my best friend and had concocted an entire narrative in her head. In her mind, the fact that we hung out, worked out together, and shared inside jokes was irrefutable evidence that we were secretly in love. It was as if my mom had transformed into a detective, meticulously piecing together imaginary clues to uncover this non-existent romance. I couldn't believe she was jumping to such wild conclusions without even bothering to ask me about it first. As the dinner conversation continued, my mom's suspicions only seemed to grow. She started probing me with more questions, trying to pry out the truth that she was convinced existed. It was like she had tunnel vision, unable to see any other possibility beyond her own preconceived notions. At this point, I was completely bewildered. How had a simple conversation about Greek gods spiraled into this bizarre family drama? I couldn't help but wonder what other unfounded assumptions my mom had made and how far she would go to validate her theories. The best friend factor. Let me break this down for you. Apparently, in my mom's world, playing video games together equals secret romance. Working out at the gym equals romantic dates. Having inside jokes equals love language. But wait, it gets better. My mom didn't just keep these theories to herself. Oh no, she went full gossip mode and told all her friends that I'm gay but haven't come out yet. Because obviously, she knows my sexuality better than I do. "Mom, I'm not gay." "Oh honey, it's okay, you don't have to hide anymore." "No, really, I'm not gay. I just want you to know I support you." There's nothing to support. Here's where it gets really awkward. One of her friends has this daughter. Let's call her Sarah. And guess what? I've had a crush on her for months. But now, thanks to my mom's stellar communication skills, Sarah probably thinks I'm not interested in women at all. When I confronted my mom about spreading these rumors, her defense was classic. "I was just worried about you." Because apparently, the best way to show concern for your child is to make assumptions about their sexuality and broadcast them to the neighborhood. So, here's what I did. Had a very direct conversation with my mom about assumptions. Clarified things with her friends, most awkward phone calls ever. Explained that being comfortable with your masculinity doesn't define your sexuality. Look, I love my mom, but this whole situation is a perfect example of how assumptions can spiral out of control. Just because someone fits certain stereotypes doesn't mean you can jump to conclusions about their identity. Remember, folks, communication is key, preferably before telling the whole town about your theories. It's okay for guys to have close friendships without romantic implications. And most importantly, maybe don't base your assumptions about someone's sexuality on their knowledge of Greek god. Sister. What does a Greek god look like? Me. Well, according to Mom, apparently like me and my best friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more awkward family stories. And hey, if you've ever had your parents make wild assumptions about you, drop them in the comments below. Let's laugh about it together. Remember guys, sometimes the best way to handle family drama is to turn it into content. See you in the next video.
Am I wrong here for telling a mom that I don't care about her daughter being dumped by my son? Hey everyone, so grab your popcorn because I've got a story that's basically a teen drama series wrapped in a mom drama burrito. You know those high school romances that seem like they'll last forever? Well, my son Dylan and his girlfriend Melanie were exactly that couple. They started dating back in 10th grade, and everything was peachy keen until last week when things took an unexpected turn. Picture this. I'm minding my own business when my phone buzzes. It's a text from Melanie's mom asking me to call her. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is about the sweater Melanie left at our house. Simple enough, right? Oh, how wrong I was. Let me tell you how a simple sweater retrieval turned into what I can only describe as the Real Housewives of high school drama. Melanie and my son Dylan were the classic high school sweethearts, dating since 10th grade. Their relationship seemed picture perfect until last week when Dylan had to end things. So here's the tea. Dylan decided to end things with Melanie last week. And before you jump to conclusions, my boy handled it like a champ. No ghosting, no dramatic social media posts, no "it's not you, it's me" cliches. He straight up told her the truth. He wanted to spend more time with his friends. But apparently, that wasn't good enough for Melanie's mom. When she came to pick up the sweater, she hit me with the "we need to talk about how your son hurt my daughter" speech. And when I told her Dylan's reason, she literally said it was BS. Like, excuse me. Since when did high school breakups require a parent-approved explanation? So when Melanie's mom showed up to pick up the sweater, she came in hot. From the moment she walked through the door, it was clear she had an agenda. She immediately launched into this tirade about how my son Dylan had hurt her precious little girl. She started going on and on about how Dylan had callously ended things with Melanie and that it was unacceptable. I mean, the woman was practically clutching her pearls, talking about how devastated her daughter was. But when I explained that Dylan had been upfront and honest, telling Melanie that he simply wanted to spend more time with his friends, she scoffed. She literally said, and I quote, "That's a load of bull. My daughter deserves better than that." I couldn't believe she had the audacity to dismiss my son's reasoning like that. Since when do parents get to dictate the terms of their kids' breakups? It's not like he cheated on her or ghosted her. He was mature about it. That's when I had to put my foot down. I told her, in no uncertain terms, that I wasn't going to talk to Dylan about this. I made it clear that this was between the two of them, and that they needed to work it out themselves. I explained that part of growing up is learning to navigate these kinds of situations. As parents, our job is to support and guide, not fight our kids' battles for them. She didn't seem to like that very much. In fact, she had the audacity to ask if I even cared about how my son treated his girlfriends. That's when I turned the tables on her and asked if she cared about how her daughter treated her boyfriends. Suddenly, she didn't have much to say. It was clear she was only concerned about protecting her own child, without considering that maybe, just maybe, Melanie could have also been in the wrong. Isn't that the double standard we're always fighting against? Listen, I get it. Nobody wants to see their kid hurting. But let's be real. We're talking about junior year of high school here. This isn't The Bachelor. We don't need a rose ceremony explanation for every breakup. So I had to lay down some truth. I told her straight up that I wasn't going to talk to Dylan about this. Why? Because teenagers need to handle their own relationship drama. That's how they grow. That's how they learn. And here's the kicker, she had the audacity to ask if I cared about how my son treated his girlfriends. So I flipped the script and asked if she cared about how her daughter treated her boyfriends. Suddenly, that was different. At this point, I'm done playing nice. The conversation had gone from zero to Karen real quick, and I needed to shut it down. So when she kept pushing, I just laid it out there. I don't care about you or your daughter. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but sometimes you need to be crystal clear with people who don't understand boundaries. There's a fine line between being a protective parent and being a helicopter parent who's hovering over every aspect of their kid's life. So here we are, folks. A simple sweater return turned into the Real Housewives of high school drama, starring one very angry mom and yours truly, the apparently heartless mother who believes in letting teenagers handle their own relationship issues. Let me leave you with this. If you're a parent watching this, remember that our job isn't to fight our kids' battles or demand explanations for every heartbreak. Our job is to guide them, support them, and sometimes just let them figure things out on their own. And hey, if your teenager's going through a breakup right now, just remember, in 10 years, this will be nothing more than a funny story they tell at parties. Or in my case, a YouTube video that hopefully made you laugh. And that's the tea, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you've ever dealt with your own version of the high school drama parent edition. Trust me, we've all been there. Remember, sometimes the best parenting move is just saying, I don't care, and meaning it. See you in the next video.
The ultimate holiday shopping showdown. You know what's wild? I thought I'd seen it all at grocery stores. The person who brings 30 items to the express lane. The coupon warrior holding up the line for 20 minutes. But let me tell you about the time I got into a straight-up standoff over 4 packs of Jell-O. Yes, you heard that right, Jell-O. And here's the real kicker. It all went down during the holiday season when we're supposed to be spreading cheer, not fighting over checkout line positions. But sometimes folks try to use that whole Christmas spirit thing as a get-out-of-jail-free card, and boy, did that backfire. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Am I Wrong Here, where we dive into life's most awkward moments and figure out if we're the villain or the hero of the story. Trust me, this one's a doozy. Picture this. It's a regular weekday evening. I'm stopping by my local grocery store after work, armed with exactly 5 items for dinner. Nothing crazy, right? The store's pretty chill, and I spot this sweet elderly lady ahead of me in line, taking her time with her groceries. No big deal, we've all been there. Little did I know I was about to star in my own holiday shopping drama. And let me tell you, it's got everything: plot twists, passive-aggressive Christmas wishes, and a dash of karmic justice at the end. So there I am, patiently waiting behind this older woman who's carefully placing her items on the belt. I'm in no rush. We've all been behind someone who moves a bit slower, and that's totally fine. The store's got this peaceful vibe, you know? That calm before the storm kind of feeling. Then out of nowhere, this woman tries to ninja her way in front of my cart. At first, I thought maybe she was reaching for something nearby, but nope. She's got this look on her face like she owns the place, clutching 4 packs of Jell-O like they're precious cargo. I give her my best, excuse me, face, and that's when she drops this gem. Oh, I was here before, but I went to go and see if the other line over there was moving faster. I'm sorry, what? Since when did grocery stores become like NASCAR, where you can just pit stop and rejoin wherever you want? I try to keep it cool, right? I'm like, okay, but you weren't here when I arrived, so... And I give her this little shrug that basically says, that sounds like a you problem, but our Jell-O queen isn't having it. She starts explaining how she should be let back in because she was here first. I'm standing there thinking, was she invisible when I got in line? Did I miss the memo about line-holding etiquette for people who abandon their spot to comparison shop? Now here's where it gets good. She whips out her trump card, the old Christmas spirit guilt trip. She's showing me her 4 packs of Jell-O like there's some kind of VIP pass, expecting me to be impressed that she's got fewer items than, oh wait, I've only got 5 items myself. When that doesn't work, she hits me with, so you're not going to let me back in? Where's your Christmas spirit? And I couldn't help myself. I told her, don't pull that shiznit. Because honestly, when did Christmas spirit become code for, let me do whatever I want? The cherry on top, she gives me this death glare and says, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, in the most passive-aggressive tone I've ever heard. You know the one, where Merry Christmas actually means I hope you step on a Lego. The best part, we both ended up leaving the store at the same time. Talk about holiday karma. Let's break this down for a second. If someone's actually in line and asks you to hold their spot while they grab one forgotten item, totally fine. We've all been there. But playing musical checkout lines and expecting to cut back in, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Here's the thing about Christmas spirit. It's supposed to be about genuine kindness and goodwill, not a manipulation tactic to get your way. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat, even during the holidays. Sometimes, standing your ground is exactly what the situation calls for. Look, I don't think I was wrong here. Standing up for yourself doesn't make you the Grinch. Real Christmas spirit is about authentic kindness, not using the holiday season as a get-whatever-I-want card. Now, I know you all have your own grocery store war stories, and I want to hear them. Drop them in the comments below. Bonus points if they involve Jell-O or holiday guilt trips. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell if you want more stories about everyday drama and the awkward situations we all find ourselves in. And hey, if you thought this was wild, check out my video about restaurant tipping drama. Link in the description. Remember, sometimes being naughty is actually being nice to yourself. Catch you in the next one.
Am I wrong here if I continue calling my mother-in-law by her first name after my sister-in-law asked me to call her Mrs. Last Name 3 years into my marriage? Hey, family drama enthusiasts. Picture this, you've been married for 3 years, sharing life's ups and downs with your mother-in-law, calling her by her first name like any normal person would. Then suddenly, your sister-in-law drops this bomb. You should call her Mrs. Last Name. I know, right? Just when you thought family dynamics couldn't get any more interesting. Welcome back to another episode of Family Drama Decoded, where we dive deep into the most fascinating in-law situations that make you go, wait, what? Today's story is a real gem, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. So here's the deal. I've been married for 3 years, living what I thought was my best daughter-in-law life. My mother-in-law and I even lived together for a year during some pretty intense medical situations. We're talking real deep connection here, folks. Not just your typical, hey, how's the weather kind of relationship. But here's where things get spicy. During what was supposed to be a simple conflict resolution with my sister-in-law about something completely different, she hits me with this formal title requirement. And let me tell you why this story matters. It's not just about what to call someone. It's about power dynamics, family relationships, and knowing when to stand your ground. Let's rewind to 3 years ago. I marry the love of my life, and naturally, I start calling my mother-in-law by her first name. No one bats an eye. Not my husband, not my mother-in-law herself. Everyone's cool with it. Fast forward through countless family dinners, holidays, and shared moments, and suddenly we're here facing this bizarre name game situation. Now, let me paint you a picture of what really solidified our relationship. For an entire year, my mother-in-law and I shared a home during some serious medical challenges. We're talking about taking care of each other, supporting one another through tough times, and building a genuine bond that goes way beyond formal titles. When you're helping someone through their hardest days, and they're doing the same for you, you develop a connection that's pretty special. We weren't just in-laws anymore, we were family in the truest sense. So there I am, having this conversation with my sister-in-law about something completely unrelated. We're trying to patch things up, being all mature about it, when BAM! She drops this Miss Last Name bomb on me. Talk about a plot twist. Let's be real for a minute. This request isn't really about respect or formality. If it was, wouldn't it have come up, 3 years ago? Or maybe during that year we lived together? The timing and source of this request make it feel more like a power play than a genuine concern for propriety. Here's what's really interesting. My mother-in-law has never once corrected me or suggested I call her anything different. Not once in 3 years. And my husband? He's just as confused as I am. Their silence on this matter speaks volumes, don't you think? This situation raises some interesting questions about family dynamics. When do formal titles matter? When does shared experience trump traditional formality? And most importantly, who gets to make these decisions? After careful consideration, maintaining the status quo seems like the most respectful choice here. Why? Because it honors the relationship that's naturally developed over time, respects my mother-in-law's apparent comfort with our current dynamic, and doesn't let external pressure change something that's working just fine. So here's my final take. No, you're not wrong for continuing to call your mother-in-law by her first name. When you've built a relationship through 3 years of marriage, including a year of living together and supporting each other through health challenges, that bond deserves more respect than arbitrary formal titles. Now, I know you all have your own wild in-law stories and I want to hear them. Drop them in the comments below. Have you ever dealt with someone trying to change your family dynamics? How did you handle it? If you enjoyed this deep dive into family drama, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more episodes of Family Drama Decoded. And don't forget to check out my video on top 10 mother-in-law boundaries. Trust me, you're going to want to see that one. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best way to handle family drama is to stay true to the relationships you've built, not the titles others try to impose. Peace out, drama decoders.
The email that changed everything. Have you ever had one of those moments where your entire life changes with just one notification? Picture this. It's a completely normal Tuesday morning. I'm sipping my coffee, scrolling through my emails, when suddenly, bam, a message from a total stranger in Australia pops up, claiming they have evidence about my wife's secret life. Now, let me ask you something. What would you do if someone sent you concrete proof that your spouse was living a double life? Because that's exactly what happened to me. And trust me, this story is absolutely wild. Hey everyone, I'm Mark, and what I'm about to share with you is probably the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life. And believe me, I've had some pretty wild experiences. But this one takes the cake. Just 3 months ago, I was living what I thought was the perfect life. Beautiful wife Emily, 2 amazing kids, and our cozy little suburban home with the white picket fence. You know, the whole American dream package. We were that couple everyone thought had it all figured out. Then Emily told me she needed to go to the UK for her friend's wedding. No big deal, right? Wrong. That trip wasn't just a wedding celebration. It was the beginning of the end of my marriage as I knew it. But let's talk about that email from Australia. It wasn't just any message. It was from a woman named Sarah, and boy, did she have a story to tell about her husband Jake and my wife. The email started simple enough. Dear Mark, I think there's something you need to know. But what followed next knocked the wind right out of me. Attached were crystal clear photos of Emily's pearl earrings. You know, the ones I spent months saving up for as her 5th anniversary gift, just casually hanging out in Jake's jacket pocket. When I confronted Emily, I expected denial, excuses, maybe even tears. Instead, she just admitted everything. The chance meeting with Jake at the wedding, their secret meetups afterward, everything. It was like watching a movie, except I was living it. But here's where it gets even crazier. Emily didn't just confess to the affair. She dropped a bomb that shook our entire family to the core. She was leaving. Not just me, but our children too. Apparently, her new life with Jake in the UK was more important than the family we'd built together for the last decade. Now, I know what you're thinking. This must have turned into some nasty legal battle, right? Surprisingly, no. Emily agreed to pay child support and keep up with visitation rights. Though I'm still trying to figure out how to explain to our 8-year-old why mommy lives in another country now. But you know what they say about family stepping up when you need them most? It's absolutely true. My sister Jessica, absolute angel, by the way, moved in temporarily to help with the kids. And my parents, they've become weekend warriors, showing up every Saturday and Sunday with home-cooked meals and endless support. Now, here's where this story takes an unexpected turn. Remember Sarah, the email sender? Plot twist. We've actually become friends. We started talking regularly, helping each other navigate through this mess our spouses created. There's something weirdly therapeutic about sharing your divorce journey with someone who understands exactly what you're going through. The funniest part? Jake and Emily had no clue their spouses would end up becoming friends across continents. They're probably somewhere in London right now, having no idea that their exes are sharing stories and helping each other heal over video calls between the US and Australia. Life really does have a funny way of bringing people together. even if it's through shared heartbreak and a random email from halfway across the world. You know what they say. Sometimes the craziest plot twists in life lead to the best stories. And hey, who knows? Maybe there's someone out there watching this who needed to hear that even when life throws you a curveball, you can still come out stronger on the other side. If you enjoyed this absolutely wild ride of a story, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, I've got plenty more crazy life stories coming your way. And speaking of crazy stories, have you seen my previous video about accidentally becoming a local celebrity in Japan? Let's just say it involved a karaoke machine, a lost passport, and 3 very confused policemen. Don't forget to ring that notification bell, because next week, well, let's just say Sarah and I might have planned something epic. Just kidding. Or am I? You'll have to subscribe to find out. See you in the next video.
Am I wrong here for reminding my dad he didn't pay child support? Hey family drama enthusiasts, have you ever had one of those moments where karma hits so perfectly you couldn't have written it better yourself? Well, buckle up because today I'm sharing a story that's fresher than yesterday's hospital jello. Picture this. Your dad, who spent years dodging child support payments like Neo dodging bullets in the Matrix, suddenly needs a place to stay. And guess whose house he's eyeing? That's right, mine. Let me tell you how I ended up getting kicked out of a hospital for simply stating facts. Trust me, this story has everything. Family drama, a car accident, a shocked stepmother, and the most satisfying moment of karmic justice I've ever experienced. First, let me set the scene. Growing up, my relationship with my dad was like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Pretty much impossible. He was the master of the disappearing act, popping in and out of my life faster than a TikTok trend. And child support? Well, that was apparently optional in his book. You know those dads who suddenly become father of the year when they've got a new girlfriend to impress? That was my old man. He'd show up with this, look what a great dad I am energy, only to vanish again once the relationship got serious or ended. Real consistent, right? Then my mom passed away. Yeah, heavy stuff. She left me the house, this nice old-school ranch-style place. 1 floor, no stairs, the kind of setup that's perfect for someone who, oh, I don't know, might have recently had a car accident. So here's where it gets juicy. My dad, being the strategic genius he is, gets into this car accident. Nothing life-threatening, but enough to make stairs a real pain. And wouldn't you know it, his apartment is basically a Stairmaster workout just to get to the bathroom. Now, enter wife number whatever. I've honestly lost count. They both start dropping these not-so-subtle hints about moving into my place, temporarily, because apparently that's what family does. The conversation went something like this. I'll pay rent, my dad says. Like, that's supposed to erase decades of missed child support. And I, feeling particularly spicy that day, hit him with the truth bomb. Oh, you'll pay rent? Like you paid child support for all those years? You should have seen his wife's face. It was like I'd just told her that Santa isn't real. She goes, that's such a rude thing to say. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I reminded them that I'm just one of 9 kids between them. That's right, 9. My dad has 3 other kids besides me, and his wife has 5 of her own. But somehow, I'm the bad guy for not opening my doors wide open? The best part? They started accusing me of dragging up the past, because apparently, years of neglect have an expiration date, like that yogurt in your fridge you keep forgetting about. Here's the thing, fam. Sometimes the most therapeutic thing you can do is just state the facts. No drama, no yelling, just pure, unfiltered truth. Sure, I got kicked out of the hospital for causing distress, but let's be real. The truth was what was causing the distress, not me. Setting boundaries with family isn't just about saying no. It's about respecting yourself enough to acknowledge your worth. And sometimes, that means reminding people of their past actions when they try to take advantage of your present situation. If you've enjoyed this slice of family drama pie, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, with my family, there's plenty more where this came from. Drop your own family drama stories in the comments below. I know you've got some wild ones. And remember, sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just stating facts and watching people get uncomfortable with their own actions. Until next time, keep those boundaries strong and those receipts stronger. don't forget to hit that notification bell to catch all the future family drama. And if you thought this was wild, wait until you hear about the time my dad tried to. Well, that's a story for another video.
A shocking discovery that shattered trust. I never thought I'd be that guy. You know, the one who finds something he shouldn't and ends up in a whirlwind of drama. But here I am, standing in front of my fiancé's closet, holding a box that's about to turn my world upside down. Let me tell you, folks, when they say don't go looking for trouble, they really mean don't go looking in your fiancé's closet. Trust me on this one. Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jake, your average guy who thought he had it all figured out. Decent job, great friends, and a beautiful fiancé. Or so I thought. Buckle up, because this story is wilder than a roller coaster designed by a drunk engineer. Picture this. It's 2 weeks before the wedding. I'm looking for my lucky tie in Sarah's closet. You know, the one I wore on our first date? Instead, I find a box. Not just any box, mind you. This thing was more suspicious than a cat sitting next to a broken vase. Now, I'm not usually the snooping type, but this box, it was practically screaming, "Open me, Jake." What's the worst that could happen? Spoiler alert, a lot. A lot could happen. So grab your popcorn, folks. This tale has more twists than a pretzel factory. We're talking hidden pasts, French business trips, and an ex-boyfriend who's more persistent than a telemarketer. Ready? Let's dive in. I open the box and bam, it's like I've stumbled into the X-rated version of Sarah's greatest hits. Videos, messages, photos, you name it. And let me tell you, it wasn't a PG-13 show. Now, I'm not a prude. We all have pasts. But this was like finding out your sweet grandma used to be a WWE wrestler. Shocking, impressive, and slightly disturbing all at once. So, what do you do when you find out your fiancé's past is spicier than a ghost pepper? Couples counseling, of course. Because nothing says, "I love you," like paying a stranger to listen to your relationship problems. Our therapist, let's call her Dr. Obvious, had some great advice. Communication is key, she said. Yeah, no kidding. I was thinking more along the lines of time travel is key, but I guess we work with what we've got. Just when I thought we were getting somewhere, Sarah drops a bombshell. She's going on a business trip to France. Now, I'm no geography expert, but I'm pretty sure the Eiffel Tower isn't the only thing that's going to be erected on this trip.
Oh, Jake, it's just business.
Sure, and I'm the Queen of England. Ding. Oh look, a message from Sarah's ex-boyfriend. Because apparently, he didn't get the memo that we're engaged. And what's this? A new video. Oh joy, it's like Christmas came early, except instead of presents, I got a stocking full of trust issues. Turns out, Sarah's business trip was more of a busyness trip, if you know what I mean. That French connection was more connected than my Wi-Fi. So here I am, newly married, with a pregnant wife who's been playing Hide the Baguette in Paris. Now we're playing everyone's favorite game show. Who's the daddy? I decided to wait until the baby's born for the big reveal. Because why rush? It's not like I'm dying of anticipation or anything. Nope, not at all. Sometimes love stories don't end with happily ever after. Sometimes they end with happily, I'm outta here. After the baby was born, spoiler alert, it's mine. I decided it was time to rewrite my ending. Divorce. It's like marriage, but with better lawyers and worse feelings. But here's the twist, I'm still in this kid's life. Because being a dad is more important than being right. So now, I'm learning the art of co-parenting. It's like a three-legged race, but the other person is your ex. And the finish line is your kid's 18th birthday. So, what did we learn from this marital misadventure? Well, for starters, always check the closet before you propose. And maybe invest in a good private investigator. Or better yet, just communicate with your partner. Novel idea, I know. From heartbreak to hilarity. Finding the funny in life's curveballs, life's gonna throw you curveballs. Sometimes those curveballs come in the form of hidden boxes in closets. But hey, if you can't laugh at life's absurdities, what can you laugh at? Subscribe for more marital misadventures and comedic catastrophes. If you enjoyed this roller coaster of a story, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, my life is a constant stream of comedic gold. Or at least, that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Join the I Survived My Ex Club. Like, comment, and share your stories. Got your own tale of relationship woes? Drop it in the comments. Let's create a support group for people who've been there, done that, and got the emotional baggage to prove it. Next week's sneak peek, I married a mime. The silent treatment gone wrong. Stay tuned for next week's video where I dive into my brief, silent marriage to a mime. Spoiler alert, the silent treatment hits different when it's their job. Until then, this is Jake, reminding you that love is blind, but hindsight is 20/20ths. Peace out, YouTube.
The Great Collectibles Showdown when family drama meets display cases. Hey collectors and drama enthusiasts, you won't believe the family chaos I'm about to share with you today. Picture this. You've spent years building your precious collection, carefully arranging each figure, and then, bam! Enter a determined 6-year-old with grabby hands and zero concept of collectible value. Let me tell you about the time I had to choose between being the cool aunt and protecting my $500 collection. And yes, you heard that right, I got called a bully for checks notes dramatically, protecting my own property. So let me set the scene. My husband and I are huge gamers and collectors. We've dedicated an entire room in our house to our shared gaming paradise. The crown jewel? Our beautiful shelf displaying our prized Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and Amiibo figures. We're talking about complete sets in the making, people. Enter the main characters in this drama, my sister Jane and her son, my nephew Tommy, the tiny tornado himself. They live 2 states away, which means when they visit, they stay with us. Now, I love them both, but here's where things get interesting. Despite repeatedly telling them these figures are not toys, Jane kept brushing off my requests. And then, the incident happened. Poor Violet from The Incredibles, her head literally popped off faster than she could turn invisible. That thin neck just couldn't handle Tommy's enthusiastic playing style. Let's talk about the collector's dilemma. These aren't just plastic toys you can pick up at any store. Each figure represents hours of hunting, careful budgeting, and sometimes straight-up luck to find. When you're working on completing sets, every piece matters. So what did I do? I went full protection mode. Found this beautiful trophy-style display case on Amazon. We're talking glass doors, secure locks, the whole 9 yards. Think school trophy case, but for awesome gaming collectibles, instead of dusty sports medals. Now Jane and my mom have joined forces against what they're calling the evil display case. According to them, I'm locking up the one thing Tommy enjoys playing with. Excuse me? Last time I checked, we have a PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series 10, a Nintendo Switch, board games galore, and literally dozens of actual toys meant for playing. Let's get real about values here. Some of these figures are worth more than what Jane spends on groceries in a week. And I'm the bad guy for not wanting them broken? Come on. Here's the thing about boundaries. Teaching kids to respect other people's property isn't bullying. It's actually preparing them for the real world. What's next? Letting Tommy play catch with my wedding china? Listen up, fellow collectors. Protecting your investments doesn't make you the family villain. Sometimes being the mean aunt actually means being the responsible adult in the room. Now, I know I'm not alone in this. Drop your own collector versus family stories in the comments below. I promise I'll read every single one, because let's face it, misery loves company, and these stories are usually hilarious. If you enjoyed this family drama meets collector crisis, smash that subscribe button. I've got new videos coming every week, and trust me, the stories only get wilder from here. Oh, and speaking of wild stories, check out my previous video about the time my cat decided to recreate the Tower of Pisa with my Amiibo collection. That's a whole other level of collector's nightmare. And hey, if you want to join our amazing community of collectors who understand your pain, hop into our Discord. We've got channels dedicated to collection protection tips, display ideas, and yes, a special section for family drama stories. Remember, collectors, stand your ground, protect your treasures, and never let anyone make you feel bad for having boundaries. Until next time, keep collecting and keep those display cases locked. Am I wrong here for telling my mother-in-law that she can get a hotel room if she keeps rearranging my kitchen? Hey there, fellow drama enthusiasts. You won't believe the kitchen chaos I've been dealing with lately. Picture this. I'm 6'6" tall. Yes, you heard that right. And my wonderful husband is 5'7". We've got this whole tall meets small situation going on, and usually it works perfectly. See this little beauty right here? This trusty step stool has been our kitchen savior. My hubby uses it like a champ, and I get to keep everything at a height where I'm not doing constant squats like I'm prepping for the Olympics. But oh boy, do I have a story for you about what happens when my mother-in-law decides our kitchen needs a little reorganization. Before the kitchen catastrophe began, we had this perfect system going. Everything had its place. Coffee mugs up high, frequently used items at my eye level, and the step stool always ready for my husband's reach. It wasn't just about convenience, it was about preventing my back from feeling like it went through a pretzel-making competition. We'd spent months perfecting this setup. My husband, bless his heart, never complained about using the step stool. He'd hop up there like a kitchen ninja, grab what he needed, and life was good. We were like a well-oiled kitchen machine. Then came the day my mother-in-law needed a place to stay. Her roof needed repairs, and since we had a spare room, it made perfect sense for her to stay with us. I mean, what could go wrong, right? The moment she walked into our kitchen, I saw that look. You know the one, that, "Oh honey, what have you done to my son's kitchen?" look. Within hours, I started noticing little changes. A mug here, a plate there, all mysteriously migrating to lower shelves. The daily kitchen battle. Every morning became a new adventure in where did my stuff go today? The step stool? Somehow it kept ending up in the garage because, according to my mill, it was cluttering up her son's kitchen.
Darling, wouldn't this work better down here? Sweetie, no one puts their plates up that high. Dear, what if we had normal-sized guests over?
My husband tried playing peacekeeper. Bless him.
Mom, we like it this way,
He'd say. She'd nod, smile, and the next day, bam, everything would be rearranged again. Then came the great coffee mug crisis of 2024. Picture me, barely awake, desperately searching for my morning coffee fix, and my mugs had completely vanished. Not just moved, vanished. I searched every lower cabinet, finding them eventually stuffed behind the cleaning supplies under the sink. That's when I snapped. In my caffeine-deprived state, I told her straight up, if she couldn't resist playing kitchen Tetris with my stuff, she might be more comfortable in a hotel room. Cue the waterworks. Suddenly, I'm the villain who's trying to throw poor Mill out during the holidays. She went full drama queen, talking about how this is her son's home and how cruel I am to make everyone suffer just because I'm tall. The guilt trips came fast and furious.
How could you make me stay in a hotel during the holidays? I was just trying to help. Why are you so sensitive about a little reorganization?
This is where my husband became my hero. Despite being clearly uncomfortable with the situation, he stood his ground. He told his mother something that made me fall in love with him all over again.
Mom, this isn't just my home. It's our home. And if you can't respect both of our comfort and happiness, you'll need to find somewhere else to stay.
Here's the thing, this isn't just about kitchen organization. It's about respect, boundaries, and understanding that marriage means creating a space that works for both partners, regardless of their physical differences. Was I wrong for putting my foot down? Maybe some think so. But in my book, when someone comes into your home as a guest and repeatedly disrespects your living arrangements, something's gotta give. Sometimes standing up for yourself means standing at your full height. In my case, all 6'6" of it. Family dynamics are tricky, but your home is your sanctuary, and you have every right to keep it organized in a way that works for you. Now I'm dying to hear your stories. Have you ever had a mother-in-law who just couldn't help fixing your home? Drop your tales in the comments below. And hey, if you've got any creative solutions for dealing with family members who can't keep their hands off your stuff, share those too. Don't forget to hit that like button if you've ever had to defend your kitchen kingdom, and subscribe for more stories about navigating family drama with a smile. And maybe a few tears. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to put these mugs back where they belong, way up here where I can actually reach them. See you in the next video.
The ultimate family betrayal that changed everything. You know what's crazy? Imagine sacrificing everything, and I mean everything, for your family's business, only to have your own father call you a loser. Yeah, that happened to me. Welcome to my life, where being the responsible one somehow made me the family disappointment. Picture this. One day you're promised a $2 million business empire, and the next, you're watching your younger brother get handed everything you worked for on a silver platter. But hey, stick around because this story has more plot twists than your favorite Netflix series. And trust me, karma doesn't disappoint. Hey there, beautiful people of YouTube. Before we dive into this absolutely wild story, let me introduce myself. I used to be the perfect eldest child. You know the type. Straight A's, class president, the whole package. But somehow, I ended up becoming my family's biggest disappointment. Ironic, right? Back in 2019, I was faced with what felt like an impossible choice. There I was, holding my acceptance letter to Stanford University, my dream school since I was 12. But at the same time, my dad was practically in tears about our family business needing help. His exact words were, "Help me now, and this business will be yours." Spoiler alert, that was about as real as my brother's work ethic. But before we get into all the juicy details, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. The ending. Chef's kiss. Let me tell you, turning down Stanford felt like someone was ripping my heart out with a rusty spoon. But there was my dad, going on about our family's legacy and how our construction supply business was his life's work. He painted this beautiful picture of me taking over and expanding the company. I ate it up like a fool. For the next 3 years, I lived and breathed that business. We're talking 80-hour weeks, people. I learned everything from inventory management to dealing with our crankiest clients. I could tell you the profit margins on every single nail in our warehouse. Meanwhile, my younger brother Tommy was living his best life in college, barely passing his classes and partying like it was 1999. Then came that family dinner. Oh boy. Picture this. There we all are, eating mom's lasagna, when dad drops the bomb. Tommy will be taking over the business. Imitating dad's voice, "Son, your corporate style just isn't what we need." Tommy has the right. Energy. Energy? Oh, I'll tell you about energy. While I was working myself to the bone, Tommy Boy was charging his luxury car payments to the company account. And those mysterious business trips? Yeah, those were actually vacations in the Bahamas. But wait, it gets better. While they were running the business into the ground, I was building something of my own. Started a consulting firm from scratch. And let me tell you, turns out all those corporate skills Dad hated so much? Pure gold in the real world. Then came the day I knew would eventually arrive. There they were, standing at my office door, looking like sad puppies. The business was failing, they needed help, and somehow, get this, it was all my fault. Because apparently, me leaving caused Tommy to stress shop with company money. Make it make sense, people. Long story short, I did take over the business, legally, with a lovely stack of paperwork and a very expensive lawyer. And guess what? That business Dad said I couldn't handle? It's now worth triple what it was under their management. Turns out basic accounting, and not treating the company account like your personal piggy bank works wonders. You know what they say, success is the best revenge. And sometimes, the universe has a way of sorting things out all on its own. Though having a good lawyer definitely helps speed things along. If you enjoyed this crazy ride through my family drama, don't forget to absolutely demolish that like button and subscribe for more wild stories every week. And hey, check out my other video about family business drama linked right up here in the corner. Trust me, it's even more bonkers than this one. Drop a comment below and share your own family business stories. I read every single comment and love hearing from you guys. Have you ever had to choose between your dreams and family obligations? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, sometimes the best thing you can do is trust your gut and stand up for yourself, even if it means standing up to family. Until next time, stay awesome. The million-dollar choice that changed everything. Have you ever wondered what you'd do if someone who abandoned you suddenly came crawling back when you hit the jackpot? Well, stick around, because that's exactly what happened to me. And let me tell you, the way karma played out in this story is absolutely chef's kiss. Picture this. Your spouse of 15 years walks out on you during the darkest chapter of your life, only to reappear like magic when you inherit millions. The audacity, right? I'm James, and my life took a wild turn that I never saw coming. You see, I was living what I thought was the perfect life with my wife, Sarah. We had built a beautiful life together over 15 years of marriage, or so I thought. But here's where it gets complicated. My father, let's call him the merchandising mogul, had always wanted me to join the family business. It wasn't just any small shop. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar empire he he built from scratch. But I had different dreams. I wanted to forge my own path, be my own person. That decision, it cost me my relationship with my father. He disowned me just like that. No calls, no visits, complete radio silence. It was tough, but I stuck to my guns and built my own career. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. My mom called one day. Dad was seriously ill. Despite our rocky history, something in me just knew I had to be there. Maybe it was the son in me, or maybe just basic human decency, but I couldn't turn my back on them. That's when Sarah showed her true colors. The conversation is still burned in my memory.
You can't be serious, James. They disowned you. Let them figure it out themselves.
But I couldn't. I just couldn't. She gave me an ultimatum. It's either them or me. Well, she packed her bags the next day when I chose to help my parents. 15 years of marriage, gone just like that. The next 6 months were transformative. Between managing my dad's medications, taking him to appointments, and just being there, something magical happened. We started talking, really talking. Not as the disappointed father and rebellious son, but as two men with a lifetime of misunderstandings between them. One night, while helping him with his evening medications, he looked at me and said, "I was wrong, son. I was so focused on the business that I forgot what really matters. Family." Then came the bombshell. Dad had secretly revised his will. The entire $50 million business. He left it all to me. The son he had once disowned. Talk about a plot twist. And guess who suddenly remembered I existed? That's right, Sarah.
James, honey, I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah, right. More like a lot of calculating. She tried everything. Emotional manipulation, tears, even threatened legal action. Called it her rightful share of the inheritance. But you know what? I had grown stronger. Wiser. I simply told her, the door you walked out of? It's staying closed. The real inheritance wasn't the business or the money. It was those precious months with my father, the healing of old wounds, and the priceless lesson about what truly matters in life. Sometimes, losing toxic people is the universe's way of making room for better things. Sarah leaving? Best thing that could have happened. It allowed me to focus on what really mattered: family, healing, and personal growth. Hey, if you enjoyed this story of sweet karma, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And don't miss our next video about the millionaire who married his gold-digging assistant. Trust me, you won't believe how that one ends. Drop a comment below and tell me, what would you do if your ex came crawling back after you hit the jackpot? Get creative. The best answer gets a special shout out in our next video. Remember to like, share, and hit that notification bell to never miss another story of karma served piping hot. See you in the next one.